ahead and paint the tow hooks on the Raptor. I'm going to show you what we got because the rear tow hooks, you cannot remove those, but the front you can. Because originally I thought about taking them off and having them powder coated, but I figured I'll probably never have to hook to them, I hope, fingers crossed. So I figured if I paint them, that's fine. If I have to hook to them and the paint wears off, I could always repaint them. Ideally, I'd rather have them powder coated, but being the rears don't come off, the fronts do, I'm just going to go ahead and tape off the rear, spray them, and I'll take off the front and then obviously do those the way they should be. But I'm going to flip the camera around, that way you kind of see what we got going on, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now on these, obviously, I don't know if you can see, but I can't take these off because they are attached to the rear main support. So I'll probably go ahead and tape them off up here somewhere because you're not really going to see up in there anyways. Sand them, clean them off, shoot them red, clear coat them. So that's probably what we're going to do for these. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, they are attached to that brace, so those aren't coming off. Now, the front is going to be a little tricky because these do come off. However, the bolt to get to them, to remove them, from the research I've done, is actually right up in here, which I'm probably going to take like a paddle bit, maybe 1 1/8 inches. Oh, that's actually rubber. Well, I can't pull it off, so the bolt's up in there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I promise you it's up in there. Well, I'm going to go ahead. This is rubber here on the front. This is plastic, so I'm gonna go ahead and just drill like 1 inch, maybe 1 inch, or maybe I'll start with 3/4 with a paddle bit to get the socket up in there, to remove the nut, to pull the tow hook out. Then I'll do the same thing. I'll sand, clean them, spray them, clear coat them, do the whole 9. So that's what we're getting in today. As far as the material I'm using Duplicolor Perfect Match. Now this is a GM color, but it is essentially Ford's version of the race red. I went to multiple stores and I was unable to get 2 cans of the same color, so I'm going with the bright red, going with clear coat. I'm going to start sanding with 180, then finish off with 400. These are actually pretty handy, so your fingers don't get, you know, paint all over them. Work pretty good for a couple bucks, but that's what I got. Then obviously I got newspaper, which I'm kind of shocked because when I bought this paper, I could have sworn it said $1.50, but when I got to the register, yeah, $4.50 for a newspaper. That's ridiculous. That's pretty expensive, at least I thought. So I got that to tape stuff off with. And then obviously I got, you know, 3M painter's tape. So we're gonna get started and let's see how this turns out. And as I mentioned in other videos, it's a necessity when you're doing work to have one of these handy dandy stools. So makes things a lot more comfortable when you're doing work. Now, as I mentioned, I got 180 and then 400. If the 400 is still too rough, I do got some 1000 grit in the toolbox, but I don't think I'm going to need that, but we'll see. We will see. And I'm not going to go too crazy with this. I just want to get the slick coating off the surface, so that way the paint adheres to it better. But I think the red tow hooks will really make everything else stand out, just because, as I mentioned in another video, everything I'm doing is going to be like a red and black theme. I think it goes really good together. That was the color theme I had on the Corvette too, and it just worked. Just looked really good and it worked. And then I got rubbing alcohol to kind of knock all the oil that I'm getting on the tow hooks from my fingers. I'm thinking a half a sheet will do each hook actually, because like I said, I only got to hit it pretty soft. I don't have to do it really hard. Yeah, I think the 180 and the 400 is going to be perfect. There really is no need to go in with anything of a finer grit, because you know the paint is a little thick, so any type of small little indentation from the sandpaper, the paint will actually fill in. So that one's done and sanded. Show y'all what that one looks like. So I think that one's going to come out good just the way it is. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sand the other one and then get to the front. Well, I told you guys some stories because there is another bolt up here, but I can get to it above the skid plate. But right where the letter is, it's where you look like you got a drill. So I got a 1-inch paddle bit, and we'll see how this goes. See if it lines up perfect or not. See how that lines up. Maybe I can get a socket in there. Perfect. That's money. Perfecto. Don't know if you guys can see it, but the bolt is right up in there. And then the other bolt is right down in there, which I should be able to get it with a socket. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take these loose and we'll get to sanding, prepping, and painting these jokers. Just so you guys know, 15 millimeter is what's holding these tow hooks in. And a 1-inch paddle bit is really the perfect size. The socket just fits in there nice and tight. Man, these bolts are kind of long. And as you can see, that socket fits in there nice and snug. So really, I mean, you might be able to get away with a 7/8, but it's a little bit difficult to drill a nicer hole if you already have a hole and you're trying to go a little bit bigger. There we go. Got one more to go. Well, as I started taking out the hooks, as I mentioned, there's another bolt tucked back up in there, but in order to pull that one out, you really need to drop the skid plate, and I didn't feel like doing all that, so I figured I'd go ahead and just put it back, sand them, tape everything off nice and neat. I'll tuck this back in there further with some tape. That way the red kind of goes back up behind that rubber. And I'm just going to paint them on the truck. It'll make things a whole lot easier. Then I don't have to worry about leaving the tow hooks off for a week before I can start handling them and putting them back on. So they'll already be on the truck. Leave it sit out in the sun, let it kind of bake, because it's going to be in the mid 80s all week. So that's what I'm going to do. It makes it a little easier on me, but I just wanted to go ahead and kind of let you know I started the process on the front, and then I said, well, this will be a whole lot easier. Let me go ahead and do this, because time is valuable. And yeah, it's a beautiful sunny Florida day, so I'd rather just get this done and save as much time as possible, and it's still going to look good. So I'm about to start cleaning these with some alcohol and taping stuff off and getting it ready to paint. We are all prepped, ready to go. So I'm pretty excited. Got the front prepped, ready to go, and the other one ready to go. So now we're going to get our paint on, so let's do this. Right, we're shaking it like a salt shaker. Now the first coat, I'm just going to do like a real light mist just to kind of make it sticky. And I'll probably shoot the bottom first, because I really don't care about getting the bottom fully coated. Just fully red, but not 2 or 3 coats like I'm going to do on the top and the sides. And I'm going to not use the nozzle, the sprayer right now. I'm just going to kind of go ahead and use it without it. Oops, I'm going to turn this way, because I like how it sprays up to down, not side to side. There you go. little light dusting. That's good for the back for right now. Let's move to the front. This one I'm gonna have to keep it close because it is kind of windy. And I always, when I'm done, I always kind of wipe that off with a little bit of alcohol between each spray, just because it kind of bubbles up and gets kind of hard. They look pretty good. Of course, it's gonna look a whole lot better when the paper's not in place, but I gotta shoot a couple coats of clear coat on it. Swing around to the front. Looks pretty good. I don't have any drips on the hooks, so that's good. Not bad. A little bit of gloss right there. But I think I'm gonna put 2 or 3 coats of clear on it. But I think it's gonna look really good when it's done and I got the paper off, so stay tuned. Time for the clear coat. I'm only gonna do probably 2 or 3 coats of this. It's about 4:45 now, so I only have about another 30 or 45 minutes worth of daylight, so it'll give me 2 to 3 good coats, and that's all I'm going to do. And then I'll wait like 3 days because the sun's going to kind of bake it. It's going to be in the mid 80s here next couple days, so the sun's going to kind of bake it, and then maybe next Friday I may hit it with like some rubbing compound just to bring out more of the shine of the clear coat, but it's going to look good. It's just tow hooks, so I mean, obviously I'm not going to spray paint a fender or anything like that, but the tow hooks are going to come out great to wear. You know, I've painted little pieces like this before in the past, and I mean, they look like they came out of a shop. I mean, if you do it right and you take your time and you have the patience to do it, it will come out good. Just do a little research and you'll get it right. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot a couple coats of clear, and that's what I'm going to do now. All right, a couple more coats, and then I think we're gonna be done. Looks good though. Nice and shiny. I think that's a wrap. Get it, Raptor? But yeah, I don't want to lay it on too thick because I don't want it to turn white. And I didn't want it to drip. But I think these are going to come out looking pretty nice, especially when I hit them with some compound. Get a nice little shine to them. So I went through about 1 1/4 cans of red, and I'm gonna say 3/4 of a can with this. So if you get 2 cans of the color and 1 can of clear coat, you should be good to do all 4 hooks. But yeah, I'm gonna let it dry for like 15-20 minutes. I'm gonna pull the paper off and hopefully still have enough light to kind of show you what we got. Time to pull off some of this paper. Try to be really careful with this because I don't want to hit the paint. Tell you what though, they do look good though. Yeah, I shoved newspaper back up in there too, just to make sure no overspray would get all the stuff back there. Oh yes, get all this paper out. It'd be funny if I accidentally leave some up here and then I go get some work done on the truck and they're like, why in the world is all this newspaper just shoved up in here? I don't know what they owing about. Car that just drove by. Ooh. Ooh. That wasn't a horn. Sounds like their brakes need a little TLC. All right, so this is what we got. Looks good, doesn't it? Look at that shine. Hadn't even hit it with compound yet. Probably do that this weekend. Here's the other one. Looks good. There's both of them. Let's check out the front. That just looks great. I think the red tow hooks pop. They look really, really good. I got the fog lights I'm going to put in, I don't know, in a week or two. And then I got the blow-off valve I'm going to put on, so I haven't done that. But I'm going to get to all that. But here's these. Now with this, I'm going to have to touch up just right there. I know you really can't see it, but I'm going to touch that up. Just kind of clean it up right there on the black once it dries fully. And over here, the same thing. The way the tape was, I guess, because it's rubber, it didn't stick fully right there. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, clean all that up. But that's what it's going to look like. I think it looks good. What do you guys think? Cheap, easy mod, about $15 and 2.5, 3 hours worth of time. But it looks good with all the red. And then once I get my new wheels and then do new springs in the front and then new leaf springs in the rear, I'm actually going to hit the calipers up red too. So, like I said in the beginning, everything's going to have like that red and black theme, like my Corvette. And it's a really good looking color combo, so I'm pretty excited to get everything done. Hopefully in the next couple months I should have majority of it done, or have the truck where I want it. But I think everything came out looking great. I'm happy with how they turned out. They look great. I'm excited to see them in the sun tomorrow, just to have them bake a little bit more and just see how they turned out. I may this weekend put some rubbing compound on them to bring the clear coat out with more of a shine, but I can tell you they're really, really glossy as they are. So I may not even have to do that, which if I don't, that's phenomenal, because that can allow me to focus on other things, whether it be on the truck or around the house. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. If you didn't, that's fine too. Hopefully it was entertaining. I know it's pretty boring just watching someone paint, but I just felt like if I'm doing a mod, I may as well record it. Someone else may find some value in it. If you do, great. If you don't, that's fine. But anyways, feel free to drop a comment, hit the bell, like the video, share the video, check out my Instagram at speedtherapy407, and I will see you guys in the next one. So more mods to come, and I promise there's gonna be more exciting mods to come, not this. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one, so let's go.